Welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, when we were talking about people coming to the seminar today, some people said, what's the topic? And we said, well, the truth's about living to be 100. And they said, oh, no, I'm not coming to that because I'm not going to live to 100. Like, wow, that's one of the reasons to come, because people are living longer now, in fact. So welcome to everybody that's here, and congratulations for doing that. I like to do surveys a lot, so if I ask you a question or if you have a question, I might repeat it so we can be sure everybody can hear it. And if you can't hear, be sure to say, hey, Shannon, I didn't hear that. Say it again so that we can make sure everybody can hear okay. So first of all, by show of hands, how many people know somebody that has lived to 100? Yeah, look around the room. There's a lot of people that have lived, or know somebody that have lived to 100. Making room? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I got space up here for you guys. Is there anybody here that is 100 or close to 100 that wants to tell us? Yeah? Yeah. Well, you never know. Somebody may want to come to say, I made it. Watch out for that cord, yeah. Congratulations. Thank you. 95. Wow. Yay. This is Ken. Okay. Well, that is amazing. How many of you honestly do not want to live to 100? I mean, honestly. So how about if I asked it this way? Would you mind living to 100 if you were healthy? Yeah, right? So it's not about age. It's about living health. Yeah, how to live successfully for a longer life. So you might recognize a few of these people. Yeah? Familiar faces, some of these people? Yep. Look at Iris. Does she not look like a blooming flower? She is beautiful. 102. These people are thriving and living life. So yeah. Yep. So my hope is today that when we leave here today, you might think about aging a little bit differently than maybe you had in the past. And hopefully, maybe you can take away some resources. We've got some great people here with us today. There are some vendors that provide a great bit of assistance. We have Lee Hunt in the back. Can you raise your hand, Lee? Lee is with Motto Mortgage Simplified here in Aiken, and they provide mortgages, obviously, if you're downsizing and moving to a smaller home, but they also do reverse mortgages. For some people, it might be appropriate to have a reverse mortgage, so he could be a resource for you. We also have Rhodes Law Firm here. We have Taylor. There's Taylor there in the back. Raise your hand, Taylor. Yep. She's got information about elder law, about planning estates, trusts. What else would I need to mention? Avoiding probate. Yeah, preparing for long-term care. Thank you for being here. So they have information for you as well. And then we have Visiting Angels, Ashley here. Ashley and Megan are here in the back. They've got a little bit of a gift bag with some information for you guys at the end too, so be sure to swing by and see everybody that's here. Also in your folder, there's a little pamphlet for Caring Transitions. We mentioned them last seminar we have. They are a provider of helping you downsize, helping you sell the things you don't want to take with you to your next place or what have you. In fact, I saw their website about a week ago. They were selling a 1940s car. They can sell anything for you. They are amazing. And so you might want to talk to them, or maybe you've got friends or family that need something like that. And then the last one I've got is some information from Sensible Money. If you haven't already planned for your financial retirement, you're living through how long you plan on living, this is a great resource. Sensible Money is a company my husband and I personally have used, and they're great because they've helped us plan from, like I'm 57 now, plan through living to 95, 100, somewhere in that range, and what do we financially need to do to be able to accomplish that. So we have a little bit of information there. It's kind of a workshop, a video for those of you that maybe need something like that. So truth number one, people are living longer. Almost 90,000 people in the US alone are 100. Centenarians. I always want to put 2 T's in there. I don't know why. But it says from the Census Bureau, 62.5% are 100 years old. So it made me think, how old are the other 37.5%, right? They had to create another category, super centenarians, for people 115 and older. Look at your neighbor. Holy cow, right? Holy cow, that's 115. So people are living longer. There's a lot of books out there on raising children, right? Because we've been raising children for a long time. But there's not a lot of books out there about living to 100. And the reason why, it's a new paradigm. It is something fairly new that's happening. Even though society doesn't necessarily recognize it yet. A lot of people don't realize it yet. People are living 25 years longer than they did in the last decade, whether they want to or not. We were in Charleston recently, this last weekend. My husband and I, we have an apartment down there, so we go there like once a month, and we love walking around. And there was a cemetery a couple miles from our apartment, so I said, let's go walk around and see if I can find, some tombstones of people that live to 100. I do weird things for inspiration sometimes. I thought I might take a picture. Anyway, we were walking through the cemetery. I think I found 2. One was 2006 when they passed away, and the other was 2017. And I'm like, what? There's not very many people. And he goes, well, yeah, Shannon, this was, people in the 1800s, the, late 1800s. This is an old cemetery. But people weren't living as long then. But now, now we are. And that's why there was 2 I found that, that had passed away in the later years because, we have more health care now. We've solved diseases and, things like that. So, and my aunt, she died when she was 60, and I'm 57. So my mom is 87 now. I went to the doctor, many years ago and said, gosh, my aunt died at 60, do I need to be concerned? And he said, well, Shannon, you've got to remember genetics. There's, a mom and dad. There's 2 different people that bring things together. Just because your mom did or your aunt did or your uncle died early doesn't mean you will. So genetics, you never know. How many people go to the doctor occasionally? How come? Why do we go to the doctor?
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy, yeah.
Wellness.
Yeah, wellness, right. I know there's some people in here that have had, their foot fixed, knee replaced, hip replacement, maybe a heart valve. They're rebuilding us from the ground up, right? So we are living longer because of that. That's definitely part of it. The prevalence of centenarians has been increasing, and in the past 20 years, the rate has nearly doubled. We're definitely living longer. Curing major diseases. What happens when they cure cancer and heart disease? Heart disease is one of the biggest ones, right? There's going to be a lot more older people. We're going to be living a lot longer. And they could cure cancer tomorrow. We don't know, right? So heart disease, what's the number one thing you could do to prevent heart disease? Move, yeah. Exercise and watching what we eat. That's not on the slide, by the way. That's just a side note. So truth number 2. There are 3 keys to living successfully at any age. Resourcefulness, adaptability, and say the third one with me, positivity. Yeah, three things. So you guys are resourceful. You guys are all here. You're here to maybe open up your mind to other possibilities. You guys are resourceful. They say with studies that educated people live longer, more satisfying lives. They also say that people with financial means live longer, more satisfying lives. But they also say, and studies show, that people that are able, even if they don't have the financial means or education, they're living longer because they're able. And they're living more satisfying lives. And do you know why? Because they're adaptable and positive. The other 2 key factors. They might have amputations, or they might have had a birth defect, but they're living more satisfying lives longer because they're adapting and positive. So adaptability, there's a scale on adaptability, right? We all are adaptable on some degree. Some people more adaptable than others. But, when you got married, you had to adapt. When you got a new job, you had to adapt. When you maybe got a divorce, you had to adapt. When you had kids, you had to adapt. Probably many times during the time of raising those kids, right? You have to adapt. So, some people adapt better than others. And adapting is really a choice. You can choose to adapt or be one of those people that can never, ever adapt and get comfortable in the situation. You choose to adapt. Poor me personality is part of not adapting. Has anybody ever known somebody that was kind of like, poor me? Yeah, everybody has known somebody like that. I had a client once that she was totally poor me, and my team and I, see, they're smiling back, and we've not even talked about this, but we had one client that was just so much about poor me, and they kept trying to project their negativeness onto us. And there's so much negativeness already in the world that who needs more of that? But you can choose to be positive and adapt to the situation. So positivity in the academic world, they call this positive cognitions. It's it happened to me versus it is me. So yeah, maybe somebody lost maybe their parent when they're at a young age, and they have the negativeness about that is me, and poor me because of that, as opposed to adapting and being positive and looking maybe for other ways to adapt, finding other role models, and just being positive in the situation. This applies to anybody, anytime in their life, really. I'm having a patio put in right now at my house, and I ordered these, what they said were handmade bricks for the patio, waited 3 months for them. They arrived last week. My whole yard is torn up. They are not the bricks that I ordered 3 months ago. I was devastated. So, and I've been preparing for this, so thank goodness I'm like, okay, what are the 3 things? I can be resourceful, adaptable, and positive. I can call it to a halt and start all over, and it'd be a nightmare and everybody be upset, or I can adapt. This looks way better than my broken up concrete looks, so this is going to be fabulous. So it applies at all ages of our life, So starting today, I know I'm doing things differently. I don't know, you guys might too. So truth number 3, humans are complex beings. Holy cow, everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows that humans are complex. Who looked at this picture and thought, ouch? I did. I couldn't do that. But I'm sure that if I took Pilates and started, doing this on a regular basis, I eventually could do that. I couldn't do it now, but we're complex beings. Everybody knows that women are complex, right? Everybody always says, I can't figure women out. But guys, you're complex too, just in a little bit different ways, right? So there's really 4 components to human beings, really. The spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. The one that's most talked about in the aging world is what? Physical? Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about all 4. So first, spiritual. These are the four things that make up humans. Spiritual. So it's not just about going to church, right? Spiritual is, being interconnected, knowing you're part of a greater something. And spiritual is where it all starts, really, your soul. So, when you are put in a casket or an urn, what's left? Your soul, right? So that's where it all starts. But if you're mental, then, if your soul is well, does that mean you're mentally okay and you're mentally in good shape? You're thinking?
Not necessarily.
Exactly, not necessarily, because we're complex beings. I know people that go to church all the time and pray all the time, and they're scared to death of dying. How can that be? Right, exactly. I saw the look on your face. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me either, but it's because we're complex, right? I don't know, maybe. So emotional is the other thing then. And there's a graph that, will you bring that up, Katie? So this is kind of a graph, and some people might think this is really common sense, but I had to stop and think about it. And think about it in my day-to-day life. So you have beliefs. Your beliefs lead to your thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions causes results. So if you think someone was mean to you and hurt your feelings, whose fault is it? It's you. It's your fault. You chose to let that person, hurt your feelings. You could have said, that person's a jerk. I don't care what they think. I'm not going to worry about it. This is something I even have to think about. In real estate, there's like 2,400 real estate agents in the CSRA, and most sell like 3 houses a year. I sell a lot more than that a year. Our team sells, I don't know, like 600 a year or something like that. But sometimes there'll be agents that can be rude, cruel, petty, and I could let it hurt my feelings, or I could say, they don't really matter. I don't care what they're doing. We're going to continue focusing doing the things that we do the way we think it should be done. So we have a choice. How many people know Deepak Chopra? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Have you met him?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he's a medical doctor, and he believes in the mind and body connection at a cellular level. So this isn't really taught in the Western world of medicine, really, but this is really what he thinks. He says when we think a certain way, our body responds accordingly. If you think you're only going to live to 60 because your parent died at 60, and at 55, you're probably depressed and upset and thinking you're going to die, and so you're probably not going to get any movement, get any exercise, eat right, quit drinking, quit smoking, any of that stuff, because you're going to die anyway, right? So this person's belief led to his thoughts, his feelings, and his action or inaction to do anything, and he results in probably dying young. Whereas when we're here and we're talking about, if you think it could be cool if you live to 100, if you were healthy, you might be thinking a little bit more positive and think, well, yeah, maybe if I got up and walked every day a little bit, or went to a jazzercise, or rode a bike, or did something, then it's a good thing. That'll help you be healthier when you are 100.
Then maybe you could go on more vacations with your daughter.
Oh, mom and daughter, I suppose, right? Well, it is true. It does impact it. So, in the last one on the screen before, Katie, it was about the physical, yeah. So, the last thing we talked about is physical. That's a big topic that, things will manifest itself in our bodies because of all the things prior to that sometimes. When you have leg pain, sometimes it's because you have poor circulation, right? It's probably because you've been sitting too much. You haven't been getting up, moving around. So, physical is something to think about. Has anybody seen the documentary Age of Champions? This is like an hour-long documentary, and I swear if you watch the whole thing, you will be smiling when you are done watching it. But I wanted to share with you just a couple minutes of it. Will you play that for me, Kate?
On your mark. Set.
Naturally, when you get to be 87, 88 years old, it ain't like it used to be, you know that.
Everybody that I play, I want to beat. Of course, I don't always win, but at least I've been there trying.
I think it's a lot of fun, win or lose. It's a lot of fun, and it keeps you interested, it keeps you going.
I am Roger Home. I was born on the 21st of May, 1909, on the kitchen table on a third floor tenement in New Bedford, Massachusetts. I am now 100 years old. I have no medication and look forward to the next match.
Get that one?
Every morning, Roger's there, the first one. Last year, he made the reservation for this year Senior Olympics in August. That's how positive it was. And he said, I can't wait till I'm 100 so I can get in the 100 and over group. And he was all excited about that. He said, I can't wait for it.
He's our role model. In case any one of us who are in the 70s or 80s think that we might be looked upon as old, we don't feel that way when Roger's around because he's our inspiration. You can be alert and active even when you're 100.
Many people keep telling me that I'm an inspiration to them. Not only older people, but the younger people. I had arthritis, very bad. I had the cancer operation in '87. I had a hernia. I've lost 5 inches in height. Now I'm below 5 foot. But whatever happens, you just have to roll with the punches.
I mean, the whole thing is just like so eye-opening. It makes you think, gosh, yeah, I can make a change. I could do something a little bit differently, and I could be that person maybe, you know. But what do you have to change your results? Start with your beliefs, right? Remember back to our graph there, the beliefs. That's why we started our discussion with saying if you believe there's a possibility you live to 100, if you are both positive, resourceful, adaptable, all those things, then it might be possible. So if actions are based on negative feelings, results are not going to be the same as positive ones normally, right? Yeah. There is that occasion, though, if somebody thinks, gosh, you know, if I live to 100, I don't want to be like my Aunt Corrine, and that's kind of negative, so I'm going to go ahead and exercise. It could work that way, too, though. But normally, you have better results if it's based off of positive feelings. So what do most people not do to prepare to live long? Exercise. Yep, you're right. Yep. Sedentary lifestyle is the worst thing for us in the U.S. My husband and I went to Greece and Portugal last month, and I'm telling you, those people are out and moving. In Greece, they're all trekking up the hills, you know, carrying their bag, going to the market to buy veggies and olives and tomatoes and cucumbers to cook for that one day. You know, they're very, very active, and they live longer probably than we do. But heart disease and circulation are the big things. Sitting is tough, like we talked about. Your body's like this. You can't get the circulation everywhere. Sometimes that's why your legs hurt. That's why the doctor tells you when you get on the plane, you need to get up and move around so you don't get the blood clots. Circulation is really, really important. How many people, when you get up in the morning, have a little bit of tough time getting going? Need to do some stretching and moving. I know I do, yeah. I have to get on the floor, do my stretches, and then when I get up moving, I feel a lot better. You know, laying in that one position doesn't help with your circulation. So there's a 4-letter word. You ready? This is for a lot of the people in the U.S. It's L-A-Z-Y, right? Lazy, yeah. A lot of people in the U.S. are lazy. How many people here exercise every day? Wow, that's amazing, you guys. That's very impressive. I don't exercise every day. I need to. I'm going to start. But that's awesome. You know, they say it only takes 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes of anything. And when I say exercise, it doesn't really have to be exercise, like bad exercise. In my mind, you know, getting on the treadmill, I hate that. Oh, yeah, no, I don't like it either, yeah. But I love going and plop me down in a neighborhood where I can walk around and look at people's landscaping in their houses. I love that. I live out in the country right now, and I hate it because when we go walking, I look at trees. So boring. My husband loves it. Huh? I have a dog. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'd rather go drive to a neighborhood park, get out of my car, and then walk around. But yeah, anything. So when I was growing up, I used to love square dancing. Did you square dance in elementary school or anything like that? I used to love it. And I always took, oh, you did? Or you do? Yeah? Okay. Well, I always tell my husband, I said, we should find some group to square dance with. He's like, what? He didn't enjoy square dancing. He was playing basketball, I guess. But I loved it. I mean, I would love to find a group to do that with. Or, people like jazzercise. That's fun. It's just some kind of movement exercise. It doesn't have to be really classified as exercise, as a lot of people think about it. Because, if you're told to go exercise, you get on that treadmill. Day 3, you're going, this is horrible. I'm not doing it anymore. So find something you love doing, for sure. You got to rethink how you do physical. Physical doesn't have to be exercise. It just needs being physical and moving. So truth number 4, priorities change, right? What was our priority when we were a kid? Have fun. What else? Candy. What's the third thing?
Learn.
What kid wanted to learn? No, they want to have fun, right? No, I'm kidding. Yes, but mostly kids just want to have fun, right? That was their priority in life. But when they maybe went to college, what was their priority then? Maybe it was learning then. And more fun? That was you, Bob? More fun? And then when you get a job and start having kids, what's the priority then? Yeah. Taking care of the kids, responsibility, raising the family, maintaining the house. And so then what's your job when you retire? How many people are retired, by the way? That's amazing. Okay, so what's the job when you retire? Have fun. We're going backwards now, huh? We're having fun. Yes, having fun is your job. Dr. Chopra says that your number 1 job after retire is to exercise, to move. Only 30 minutes a day is what it takes. Yeah, just moving, getting some movement in. So our goal after retirement is 2 main things: maintaining autonomy and finding purpose. So maintaining autonomy, you have to keep exercising in order to maintain autonomy. So that kind of goes hand in hand, right? I had a really good friend who's just a couple years older than me, about 27 years ago. After she had, I think, her first son, she had brain tumors. She worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield. She was like an executive there. She negotiated contracts with the physicians, led a big team. At this young age of 27 or 28, she had brain tumors. She had to leave Blue Cross Blue Shield. She couldn't work anymore. Her job became maintaining autonomy and finding purpose. She's had brain tumors removed from her probably every other year since then. This has been a nonstop thing for her. But you know what? She is the most positive person I have ever known. She's so positive always because she adapted and she remained positive. And she had to find, how to remain and keep her autonomy. She had to adapt. She found friends that would take her to the YMCA so she could do jazzercise 3 times a week or what have you. But she figured out how to make that happen. When we were in the airport recently, there was a couple in front of us, and the husband looked a little confused, and I said, can I help you? I didn't work there. I was just in line behind him. I said, can I help you? And he said, yeah, I'm not sure what I need. And I said, well, you're going to need your passport or your ID and, your ticket for the plane to go through the security line. He says, okay, I've got mine and I've got hers, meaning his wife. And I said, okay, well, she's going to need hers and you're going to need yours to go through. And so they did that. So I started to go through my line with my husband, and they were going through their line. I looked down and I noticed that her passport was on the ground. So I got out of my line, went and got the passport, took it to him. And as I'm walking back to my line, he yells across, thank you. She's got that thing where she drops stuff all the time. And she goes, just like elbows him. She's like, don't share my business with everybody. But that's true. It's kind of like, you don't have to share your business with everybody. You want your, autonomy. When we were standing in the line before we went through, I said, where are you guys going? And they said, New York. And I said, oh, that'd be fun. And she goes, no. And I go, no. No? And she goes, no. My daughter bought us a plane ticket because she wants us to move there because she thinks we're too old. She wants us to come find a house. And I said, well, did you tell her you didn't want to go? And they're like, no. It was just easier to go along with it. But you know, if you want to maintain your autonomy, sometimes you have to set boundaries maybe with your kids as to what you're comfortable with. You got to remember, society hasn't caught up to what the reality is of people living longer and maybe able to take care of themselves longer than they could have 25 years ago. So something to think about. Finding purpose. There's a lot of different places you can go to find purpose after you retire. You can volunteer. There's mentorships, working with young people. Do I want to work with young people? No way. No way, no way. I love working with older people. I love working with you guys, so you're my people. But Encore is another group that you might look into. Katie, I think I've got a slide in there. Yeah, Encore. This is from a person that says, I retired last year from my job as a family physician, but after taking a little breather, I really wanted to get back into doing some clinical work and giving back to the community. I was drawn to the volunteer opportunity at La Clinica because I love Spanish and Spanish-speaking people and culture. And the vaccination effort is a very timely and urgent thing. I started in May, and I've been giving the vaccine 1 day a week. It's fun, it's an outdoor venue, and all these wonderful people, and it goes on. But it's an organization, and there's a lot of different organizations out there if you want to find something that speaks to you to give back or to help other people. I can tell you that young people love to have mentors, and you guys have done so much in your life. You've led companies, you've led battalions, you've been teachers, financial people. I mean, there's so much expertise just in this room alone. If you want to find something that gives you purpose after having fun for a while, after retiring, and like he does it just 1 day a week, there's lots of opportunities out there. There's other organizations if you want to do something like that. But this Encore is bringing together different generations together to help impact their lives. So finding purpose. Truth number 5, everybody leaves a legacy. It can be intentional or it can be legacy by default, right? So you can be intentional about, I want to mentor, or I want to help people, or I want to donate money, or I want to influence. It can be financial or materialistic, but you can choose to leave a legacy if you want to. If you don't care what happens after you die, then that's, legacy by default, and what it is what it is. But, I've been to funerals. I don't particularly like going to funerals, but, it always makes me sad to go to a funeral and the person up there speaking doesn't know the person that they're speaking about. They're just reading something, and somebody doesn't know something about them because they weren't intentional. There are some people that plan, and they say, I want to be here. This is where I want you to have my service. This is what I want you to say about me. This is what I don't want you to say about me. You can do that. You can be intentional about that too if you want to. Helen is a client, was a client, and when asked how old she is, she said, I'm 79 backwards. Yep, that's how she did it, 79 backwards. And Helen decided to move out of her house after living there 60 years. And she decided to move because all of her friends had kind of moved out of the neighborhood. And she wanted social interaction. She wanted to be convenient. So she decided to sell, and she moved to an independent retirement community. And you cannot call there and get Helen on the phone because she's always out volunteering, doing something. She's very, very active in the community. And she's choosing to participate to, go help other people. So how are you going to choose to experience a long life? Do you do something differently, starting today? A few things to think about, and I call them gaps. Are you good spiritually? Remember, go back to that one slide. Good spiritually, mental, is your thinking good? Are you physical in some way, exercising, moving? And are you being resourceful, adaptable, and positive? But are there other gaps? Are there still things? If all that stuff is good in that top paragraph, are there other gaps that you might still have that you haven't answered the questions to, or need to get more information about? Like, how much money is enough if I live to 100? Is that something you need to find out? Should I invest differently? Do I need invest in long-term care? How can I stay in my home forever? If there's things you want, if you want to stay in your home, there's things you might need to do, like pick up the rugs, get handrails in, get the, make it so it could be safe for you. And all your legal affairs, get your trusts and everything set up. If you have gaps, it's better to go ahead and figure that stuff out now, because what did you tell me when we were talking a little bit earlier? It happens when it's a crisis, right? Yeah. She said that she loves, you told me you like to get information ahead of time. You like to just know your options, even though you may not want to implement any.
But at least you have a choice and you know what they are.
Yep, that's it. Absolutely. So don't wait for a crisis. Figure it out now. It can't hurt to find out the answer now and be prepared. Yep, so I've got a social creatures challenge. Doesn't that sound funny? Social creatures challenge. Okay, some people are going to love this. Some of you are going to hate it. But my social creature challenge is today, at some point, go up to somebody you haven't met yet and just say, hi, I'm Shannon. This is what I took away from this today. And then they'll say, hi, Shannon. This is what I took away from this. So if you guys will do that today, we all need to know more people. And there's several people that have been here in the past. So I'm so excited you guys are back. And hopefully you'll take the opportunity to meet somebody new. So in summary, just a quote I thought was just really nice. With each day comes an opportunity to make meaningful life decisions. Life is a journey, and its smoothness is largely dependent on the decisions we make. Now and again, we're presented with the opportunity of making decisions that would affect our lives in one way or the other, and it's only fair that we make good use of this opportunity by making good decisions even now. Yeah, I thought that was great. So don't forget, we have Rhodes Law Firm here, Motto Mortgage that does reverse mortgages and regular mortgages, Sensible Money. I've got a little bit of information if you've not already planned your financial future, and Visiting Angels that can help maybe just be a resource for you down the road if you don't need something like that now. And then finally, don't forget to fill out your evaluation when we're done after you have lunch. We do have some amazing sandwiches, at least last time. They had amazing sandwiches and fabulous cookies that we will have here for lunch. And if we can get anything for you, don't hesitate to reach out to me or one of my team members. Look forward to chatting with you more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.